Up next, I'm going in with both my bronzer, my powder bronzer from NYX Cosmetics, and this is the Buttermelt bronzer. And then I'm also going to go in with the Buttermelt blush, also from NYX Cosmetics. The bronzer is in the shade Buttermatch, and the blush is in the shade My Better Half. So the bronzer is a little bit dark, and it's highly pigmented. I am going to go in with like a very minimal application of this bronzer because I don't want it to look highly defined. I just want to literally like bring back the warmth into my face and just to unify and create like a more sculpting effect onto my face. So this is how the bronzer looks. So I am going to be using a angled fluffy brush. So this is how the brush looks, and then I'm going to pick up the product and then I'm going to dust it off. Oh my gosh, this is so much product. Then I'm going to dust it off so that I only work with minimal product. And then directly from my cheek area, I am going to create more of like a C effect onto my face just to sculpt and to warm up this specific area. I'm going to apply just a little bit of the bronzer, mainly because it's highly pigmented, guys. So I don't want too much warmth, because you can see that I'm just going to blend it out with the cleaner side of the brush. So I'm repeating the same process on the other side of my face, working my way upwards to the hairline. Ooh, you can see already I've got more of a sculpted and face lifted effect. I'm now going to bring up the product onto the entire cheek area. So I'm not only going to apply the product only on my cheek area and just leave it there. I need to blend it out just to create more of like a seamless effect. So as you can see, I only did one application of the product. It's the NYX Cosmetics Buttermelt bronzer. It's highly pigmented. It literally lasts you for like 2 years, I think, if you're only using it on yourself. And for its price, it is so amazing because it's infused with amazing oils like your shea butter, argan oil, almond seed oil, like amazing oils that help to hydrate the powder. As you apply it onto your face, it literally melts into the face. So it won't create like the dry mattified effect. It will give you like a slight radiant illusion onto the face, but it will also leave your face sculpted, which I guess is exactly what we want. I'm just blending out all the edges of this product. And the excess product on my jawline, just to have like more of a unified effect. And then now it's almost like I'll be repeating the same bronzing application process, but now I'm doing it with the blush. So I'm using this bright pink color. I'm in a very wide variety of shades, so you can choose whichever shade that you like. And I'm using a fluffy brush, smaller, like a medium-sized fluffy brush. So I'm picking up the product and then I am dusting it off, because again, this is a very pigmented product. And then exactly where, so as you can see, guys, can you see that there's that glow penetrating through that powder product? So because it's infused with more of like a hydrating oils onto the product, it does create like a hydrated effect onto the face so that it doesn't look drying and like dry onto the face. So now I'm going in with a blush literally on the high points of my cheeks, and then I am blending it into the bronzer as well. So I'm not just applying it on the high points of my cheeks and then just leaving it there. I am also blending it into my bronzer. And then, ooh, can you see, guys, it created that rosy effect on the one side of my face as opposed to this side only with the bronzer. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side of my face, on the high points of my cheek area, blending it into the bronzer. Just to create like a more, ooh. So the blush placement is a preference. It's based on your preference on shades. So you can use like coral shades, burgundy shades, like your reds or your pinks, any shade of pink, anything that you like and anything that you approve of. But this will probably be your placement for your blush. So it's on the high points of your cheek area, blending it into your bronzer, just so you can create like that seamless effect. Anyone that looks at you won't be able to identify where exactly you placed your bronzer and where exactly you placed your blush. So you need to blend out all those edges and then you blend out also on these parts of the face. And then just to be a little bit creative, I like to apply the blush on the tip of my nose, just to create like more creativity onto my face. And again with my bronzer, and then I'm using a small angled fluffy brush for this specific placement. So I'm picking up the product, dusting it off, and then exactly from the starting point of my brows, I'm gonna pat the product on there. So I'm gonna repeat the same process on the other side. And then I'm gonna bring it downwards a bit. Guys, this product is so pigmented. Like you literally need to go in with a free hand when you're doing this placement. So as you can see, this is only from the first application, and then I'm literally just blending everything out. So it's from the starting point of your brow, creating like a Y effect, working your way down to the bridge of your nose, and then you're gonna stop literally at the tip of your nose. So to blend out this product, because I feel like I've applied too much of the bronzer, I'm literally gonna go in directly to the edges of my placement, and then I'm gonna distribute the product. And I'm working in with a free hand, doing this. So you need to blend and blend and blend and blend as if your life is dependent on it, if you want to create that like seamless effect. So I worked in with this edge, so I'm going in now with the upper edge of my nose, contouring. I repeat the same process on the other side. Yeah, so now it's more toned. Yes, this is exactly how I want it to be done. And there you have it. So you've literally contoured your face using a powder bronzer. If you then want to create more definition onto your face, then you can go in with multiple layers. And if you want more blush, you go in with multiple layers. You can even use 2 different shades of blushes. So sometimes I'll go in with like lighter shades from the apple of my cheeks, and then I'll go in with like a deeper or warmer shade of the blush on the high point of my cheek area. But just ensure that you do blend those 2 shades together, so exactly where they meet, the lighter shade will overlap the darker shade area, and the darker shade will overlap the lighter shade area. Then also ensure that you bring it down to blend it out with the bronzer as well. So everything needs to be blended out seamlessly. As much as I've already applied my powder products, so the setting powder, the powder bronzer, and the powder blush, my face does still look hydrated, which is exactly what I want. Again, I don't want that mattified and dried effect. This is my preference. This is what I like. Okay, so now we're doing brows. So I'll be using this brow lift and freeze glue from Essence. It is such an amazing product. It will literally lock up your brows. Your brows will literally stay in place the entire day. So it's almost like a gel formula. Just apply it on your brows. So you brush your brow hairs according to the brow shape you want. So I'm repeating the same process on the other brow. And then you press onto the product just to create more of a illuminating effect. Press on the product. So I'm going to repeat the same process. The brow. I'm going to be using this brow pencil from NYX Cosmetics. It's the brow and shade, it's a blade and shade brow pencil in the shade brunette. So it's already like, it's a very precise, okay, please focus. It's a very precise brow pencil, and it's very, very thin. So which means even if you're creating strokes onto your brow or you are defining a shape onto your brow, this will be done perfectly with this specific brush. A little bit of the setting powder on my brush, just to create like a more strong hold of the product that I already applied onto my brows. So not too much, just a little bit to mattify and to create a strong hold of the So already, as soon as you brush your brows, you can literally feel how stiff they are. That is a very comfortable stiff. It won't be something that you're able to feel during the course of the day. It's super, super comfortable. So I'm going in with this brow pencil. And then I'm going to start at the arch of my brow. So I'm literally going to follow the same shape of my brow, just to create a more defined illusion of my brow. So if you want more definition of your brow, you can go in with a second layer, but I'm happy with how this looks. And I'm gonna go, so I don't go directly from the starting point of the brow. It's almost like I'm closer to the center part. So I start off and draw, and I do the same thing on the upper part of my brow. And then I just connect those two ends, and then I go in to fill in my brow. Still using the same brow pencil. And then at the starting point of the brow, I go in to create strokes. So I want to fill in this gap. So I'll go in with a very hard and precise hand just to fill in that gap. Another amazing brow product is the Rimmel Brown Precise Pencil, and also the Essence Precise Brow Pencil. They are so amazing, and all these products remind me of the Benefit Precise Eyebrow Pencil, which is retailing for, is it 500, 600, 595? Yes, so it's 600, but they're super amazing, guys. They make the job so much easier. You literally draw, find the brow, which is almost the same results that you'd get from the NYX Cosmetics brow pencil. And also the Essence Maybelline also has a very nice brow pencil. So I've also recommended that product onto the study guide, and then I go in to fill in the brow. So I want a very natural, defined eyebrow. My brows are not even shaped, so I am happy with how this looks. So even if you don't get the drawing right, as soon as you conceal your brows, you would literally see a beautiful shape onto your brows, something that you think you wouldn't have been able to achieve, or it wasn't attainable, which is the brow pencil. But I'm happy with how this looks.